Hello, the game has started. It's me to go first. I've got a balanced rack. All tiles are different, but too many high-scoring tiles for there to be a bingo here. Now, I could play Chib, which scores quite well, but that leaves a vowel-heavy rack leave. I can actually make that worse by playing Bletch. But this is a decent score, 32 points. Can I play off one more vowel? No, I don't think I can. I am going with this. Pretty good. Given that I kept two vowels, this could have been a lot worse. I'm not seeing a 7 here. But how about these floating consonants? Great, just 13 for opponent. So how about the B? No, not seeing anything there. I think for the second game running, I've had my screen in not quite the right place. So the H, I would need another R for horrifies. D. No, not seeing anything there. Wow, D and T both look quite useful for this rack. So I would have the IEST ending. No, not seeing anything. So, do I have a double-double through the T? Not seeing one. Well, I could be missing stuff here. So how to sort the rack out? Well, certainly playing off I and F is a priority. And, well, I can do it down here, and I say this with a heavy heart because it's only 14 points. And I'm masking a really good floater, so I'm not going to do that. This rack is quite bingo-y. I'm going to create a new bingo lane in column 14. Bletch doesn't take an S, given that I now have one. An extra S bingo lane is good, and the T goes really well with this rack leave. I am going with this. So I have Soilia, which does play in column 14, and I have Royliest in row K. Not seeing anything through HI. It's possible both bingos could be blocked. What about the B? No, not seeing anything through that. So I have a slight lead at the moment, and I'm hopeful of getting a bingo down. But will opponent bingo first? Yes, he does. Rats. Well, at least I do have a bingo. But Soilia opens up row O, so do I have something better? The O not useful. The P doesn't get doubled. But I do have Lyriopes through that. And that might be worth doing. It's a lot less dangerous than placing an R in row O. So Lyriopes for 61. Great, I draw the first blank. The rest of the rack not too great. Certainly the right-hand 4 tiles are pretty grim. I do have Wu Chia in row H, but That's exactly where I'm expecting opponent to play. And that would get rid of 3 of the 4 problem tiles. If opponent sticks any eye in the open, Wuchia is likely to be the best spot. Wow, opponent does not go there. Fantastic. So Wuchia for 45. And that is a fantastic rack. I am surely bingoing now. If has provided a 7-letter lane for bingos ending in S, so I have putters down there and sputter beginning in that spot. Where would be better? Well, a bingo ending in W, but I don't think I have one of those. A bingo ending in B. Not seeing anything. A play through HI. Interesting. What about super hits? I think that's good. Let's find out. And it is. Fantastic. So I now have a 70-point lead. And this isn't too shabby. Through a D, I would have non-dairy. No floating Ds at the moment. Floating B and W pretty useless for bingos. What about this S? Not seeing anything through that. Nice score for opponent, 50 points. So although I've got a couple of bingos down, my lead is just 20 points. So what to do here? If I played off Yon, the rack leave of Rain is pretty good. Is there anywhere good to do that? Not that I can see. This board is pretty dry in terms of scoring spots. Well, I do have Yon, and I'm wincing because I'm blocking bingo lanes. Yoni slightly better, 24 points, but I don't have an S, so column 14 not available for me, and I do have the lead, so a blocked board actually works for me. Wuchia takes an S, so column 6 is an S lane bingo, and there are 1 S and a blank to come. I draw an S. Fantastic. And I have Argans in column 6. Do I have that anywhere else? Well, I've blocked it in column 14. But if opponent doesn't have an S, or doesn't have a blank rather, he's not likely to block that. And he doesn't. So Argans for 79. Well, not a great rack, but not a disaster either. No duplicates. 26 tiles to come, including a blank. So remaining tiles do have some bingo potential. But actually, there are a lot of vowels to come, and there are very few bingo-y consonants. Look at this, 1L, 1N, 2 Rs and a T. And still to come, B, C, F, H, K, V and Y. So it's not a particularly bingo-friendly pool. However, there are bingos there, and I do lead by only 1 bingo, so game's certainly not over. I've got the ing ending. I've got the man ending, twig man not good. Do any of these floaters assist? And I'm not optimistic. No, I'm not seeing anything. How about taking out some floaters? Well, great, just 18 for opponent. I don't have anything great parallel to Argans. Nothing goes in front of Pi. I could play Wigger. That's quite nice because it interferes with 3 floaters. It just leaves the floating A, and any bingo in row B is going to open up access to triple word squares in row A. I'm not too bothered about burning all of my vowels because there are a lot of vowels to come, and there are floating vowels on the board. I'm thinking about playing this 1 square this side, and that stops opponent playing down column 8 using this triple word square unless he burns the blank. So wigger for 20. Can I do better than this? No, I think that's fine. And I draw some more of these heavy consonants, which means the pool becomes more bingo-y. Through an E, I would have vame. Just the 1 vowel despite this huge number of vowels. Well, maybe opponent's drowning in vowels. That would be good. I have nav in column 14. Not a great play with the blank still to come. Wow, what a bingo! What a bingo! So I lead by only 18 points, and there are some big scoring tiles to come. This game is not over. Wow. So, what am I going to do? I'm immediately drawn to this triple letter square. Opponent could put a B or a Y or a K on that spot. So, I can play moth. That's quite nice. 32 points, good score. It's preserving my A, even though there are a lot of vowels to come. When you're only drawing 2 or 3 tiles, it's possible to get an unrepresentative selection, and this A guarantees me 1 vowel, and if I draw 3 vowels, well, I'll still have a balanced rack. Can I do better than moth? 12 minutes on my clock. So I was thinking about nav. Now opponent has played the blank. There's no longer a column 15 bingo danger from that, but there's still a 2-letter danger. So I think moth is better. I do draw 3 vowels, but I've got this scoring tile in the V. Yes, the problem with nav is that opponent could play OK. And a 50-point lead is particularly slender when you've got some big scoring tiles to come. Sometimes at this stage of the game they've all been played. Not so in this game. BF, K and Y to come. So what am I going to do with this rack? It would be quite nice to turn over a lot of tiles to expedite the end of the game and to try and get some of these big scoring tiles. Through an H, I would have Navarro. I don't have an I for going after UN. So there's nowhere great that I'm seeing at the moment. I don't have to play off the V, but that's likely to be the way to keep scoring, and given how slender my lead is, I really would like to get 20 or 30 points on the board. I think 30 is too much to ask for from this rack. Now my vowel can go, or some of my vowels can go above the W. Well, look at that, 30 points, just one of the big tiles. V can go above OE. So I can play Avo here, 24 points. Reasonable rack leave, only one A to come. Since I've got duplicate A, I shall probably draw it. But am I leaving this W alone for opponent to score off? He could play Yob. And he probably can't do much down here. Only the F goes above OE. I still prefer this play. Great, I draw the B. And I lead by 40 points. Can I hang on? 4 tiles in the bag. And it's the F and the Y which are the scoring tiles. There are 2 hottish spots, the W next to this double word square and the Y next to this one. And that's good, because it means that wherever opponent plays, I will have first dibs at the other. So, 4 tiles to go, 10 minutes on my clock, plenty of time. Through a T, I would have Arbutian, but there really are pretty much no bingo lanes, just the A and the R in rows B and C. And the W pretty useless. So what do I have using this W? Well, BAA. That gets me over the 20 mark. I'm not too bothered about the U. I'm not looking to bingo, and there are no more U's to come, so it's not a priority to get rid of. I do have Bauer as a 6 on my rack, but I'm not seeing anywhere for that. Now, anything better than Bar? So I could play AB. Well, not seeing anything. If I had another U, I could play Bureau. So what do I have in column 14? Well, I have NAB. I have Nub. Interesting, Nub might be a nice play, because NAB, YA takes a Y and there's one to come, whereas YU doesn't take anything at all that's left. I slightly risk ending up with a 6-vowel rack and no scoring tile. But will I be far enough ahead? Well, opponent's gone in that spot and scored 30 points. He's emptied the bag. These are all the tiles I'm going to see. 10 minutes on my clock. So firstly, has opponent provided anything? Well, look at this. He's provided something for himself with YA. 45 points, and I only lead by 14. Interesting. What if I let opponent play there? Well, Sohn is good as well. He's got YAE for even more. Let me first of all consider what I can score in this spot. So I've got ANE. 34 points. I think that's got to be the play. But can I then go out? I have unbar through the N, which I think is good. But I don't see any other out. But I think this is the play. It's 34 points. Let me just put this back. I can't play the U in this column. Only the, well, N or A. But I think I do want to play off 3 tiles. I am going with this. So, What has opponent got? At the moment, all I have is unbar, but I lead by 48 points. I have AB above WI, which will score quite well. Opponent has 5 vowels and only 1 scoring tile. So I think he would need something quite special to catch me. Great, he does not block my out. Jato's for 24, so I still lead. Unbar for 7. And the final score, 417 for my opponent, 464 for me, a winning margin of 47 points. So a huge, huge win. Let's see what I missed. Well, that was quite close for most of the game. It was me to go first, and there it is. There was a play using 6 tiles, Chibol retaining the E. That would have been better than my play. Horrible rack for opponent. Plays Velt. No bingo here. Sifri, that's nice. L10, making Velts. But burning the S and opening column 15, so not a massive fan of that. And I prefer my play. If we go back, if kept Osier. So is Osier 16 points better than O? Yes, it is. O is probably worth about -2. And Osier, I would say, is upwards of 15 points. So definitely more than, well, either about a 16-point difference or it could be greater. Either way, I'm happy with my play. Nice bingo by opponent. And I come back with Liriopes. And I saw Soilia, although it scores 13 more points, it opens up row O and column 15 for a parallel play, and I didn't fancy either of those happening. I do have a significant rating advantage over my opponent, so I may not have said it, but I was mindful not to gift easy scoring spots. Opponent plays quiet, and this is really good for me because it's a horrible rack, and Wu Cheer enables me to sort it out in one go. Wow, opponent suffering from lack of vowels. Plays Mug for 24, and I have this fantastic rack. So I play something. I play Super Hits for 76. I14. Yeah, all of these bigger plays. Again, I'm opening up a triple and parallel scoring opportunities. So although I'm dropping 8 points, I think that's worth doing. Opponent plays Z. Rayon B11. Wow, that's nice. Parallel to Super Hits, 33 points. Instead, I play Yoni for 24, keeping Ran. So, yeah, Rayon, a better play. Opponent's rack plays Jeton, which is great because I have Argans. And now I have a bingo's lead. Gosh, opponent's close to a bingo, plays Sid. This was a rack I struggled with, A14, Mooring. Wow, what a play. That would have been fantastic, great score, and the G not particularly useful next to column 15, so I didn't do that. I played a massively inferior play of Wigger. Great spot by opponent of Neoteric, has a choice of other bingos, and this is the point at which things became quite close, and still 13 tiles in the bag. I felt my opponent was breathing down my neck. I play Moth for 32, not much more on offer. Opponent plays Oak for 30, and now I lead by 20. I play Avo for 24, and I like that. Wow, 43 on offer. Opponent plays Fenny for 30. And now my lead is just 14 points and the bag is empty. I play Ain for 34, and I think that's winning. Opponent plays Jatos for 24, and, well, I play Unbar. I leave 1 point on the table because Urbia was playable through the Eye of Wigger. And that was the end of the game. So, absolutely fantastic stuff. Both of us over 400 points and some nice wide open action on the board. Sometimes boards are tight and sometimes they're wide open, and both of them have their separate attractions. But many thanks to my opponent for a good battle. I hope you enjoyed watching that game, and I will see you next time.